So first of all, as you said, it's a direct and indirect play. Our partners are very engaged. IBM, Deloitte, Accenture, very active. But also the guys who do the assurance, like KPMG, very active on these things because they see the business opportunity just like everybody else does. And so they are very advanced, and they're doing things today in helping customers run more sustainably. And we have very good partnerships with them. We've actually extended our partnerships into sustainability with those companies. And so it is, yes, a direct and an indirect play. First of all, I think it's important to mention that sustainability truly is not only for large businesses, but also for small businesses. And that stems from the fact that sustainability is a supply chain issue. And if you get Walmart put out a green index, it trickles throughout the entire ecosystem. And so it's not only the large organizations that are affected, it's also the small ones. What I can see today is that from a software perspective, they're a little bit behind in terms of adoption, but it's accelerating in this market just like it's accelerating in the large enterprise segment. I think it already does trickle down into SMB. As I said, because of supply chain issues, Walmart's gearing up for the green index. You've got carbon tax coming in France. That means the European Union is impacted. So everyone who's going to sell into the European Union will be impacted, and their supply chains. There's a strong push towards product labeling. That means people will need to understand, what are the carbon implications down the supply chain. So there's a great amount of activity. And it's driven through a variety of different factors in the market. So for the small business, just like for the big business, right now the order of business is you need to understand what your strategy is, you need to understand what your baseline is, you need to set your targets, you need to do so in an educated way. I think first of all, apart from services to put in software, it's also a lot of it is also education. There's a lot of information to be absorbed to formulate a strategy and execute on that strategy correctly. So when it comes to formulating best practices, part of that is to have education happening and to do a consultative approach to the sales rather than just dropping the product and moving on to the next account. And that's where intelligent ways of doing that become important in order to preserve your margin. And that's what these customers are doing. And that's also why we are excited about the on-demand fashion of our SAP Carbon Impact solution, because it can be deployed without the help of IT in a way, right? It's just a service you consume over the web, and it is very self-contained if you choose so, and that's what makes it attractive to solve that problem in an easy way, quickly, with the help of people that help you set it up in the right way, specifically when it comes to what's your calculation methodology, what kind of scope 3 emissions do you want to count, do you want to count scope 3 at all, questions that a small business not necessarily has the answer to, and that's where the consultative approach is a good one. I think we're all, no matter whether you're a value-added reseller or an implementation partner on the large enterprise side, we're all still in the learning phase. This is a market that's shaping. And it's fueled by regulation, it's fueled by price volatility of energy, it's fueled by the drive to create brands and green products. And as this movement's happening, and as we see the transformation of business towards a more green economy happening, we're all learning, and that's what the VARs are part of. We're all learning just like we all learned the internet. There wasn't a moment in time when we said now everything is internet. It was a gradual, transition. It took a little while, and this will be the same. Well, first of all, I think it's important to not only consider this as a business to the outside. I mean, even the small companies are providing goods and services for other organizations, and it's the temptation, the reflex is to first focus on that. But the true or the more successful strategy is the one that focuses internally first. And that means that you understand what your own impact is, and you structure that right, and you understand what your abatement strategy is around that, and then you extend that into your customer base. So it's not the trap is to fall into that reflex of going out immediately and talking to your customers. The right thing to do is understand internally what's going on, and then once you've structured that and once you've understood your strategy internally, also have it impact your products and your services to the outside world. So first walk the walk, then talk about your products.